Vegas, number 2 pick Darren Peterson in the Jazz taking on number 5 pick Keaton Wagler in the Clips. If you haven't been paying attention, Peterson has been on a mission in Las Vegas to prove everybody wrong in regards to whether or not he should have been the number 1 overall pick. That's him with the poster early. Here he is in the second, flashing the range. Bang! Tough basket, 12 points at the half. Jazz would be trailing. This is just a kid who is on a mission. Washington, take note. Third quarter now. Clippers are going to be up 8. Let's get Keaton Wagler involved, shall we? Top of the arc, splashing the 3. Clippers by 11 later in the quarter. This would be a theme. Wagler, spin move, tough fadeaway. Clippers by 14. Under a minute left in the third now. Wagler again. Step back, drilling the 3. 18 points in the third quarter. He finished with 23 and 4. Peterson with 23 and 5 assists. Clippers win 104-82. All right, let's get the boys back here. Vince Goodwill, Tim McMahon. Vince suddenly has some lighting, so he's out of the witness protection program. Vince, most impressive player of the Summer League far has been who?
I think it's hard to argue about. It's been one game, but Caleb Wilson in Chicago, the fact that he came out, scored plus 30, 7 threes, like this guy has shown the ability that he may be able to hit the ground running in ways that everybody else might have to catch up to. He's going to have the opportunity that the rest of the rookie class may not, or at least the top 2 players, just because of the situations that they're in. But in Chicago, he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. And in Summer League, the fact that he was able to play through contact, that is a big thing for me because you're not always getting the calls. If you can play through contact at this level, that strikes me as something that is going to be sustainable for the long term.
Tim, Vince makes a great point. It's a small sample. These guys have only played so much since they got to Vegas for Summer League. But if one guy has jumped off the page to you, who is that guy?
I mean, the number 1 overall pick, A.J. DeBonsa, has looked awfully good. 6'9". It looks like he's bulked up since BYU. He's just a spectacular athlete. Will step in the league as one of the most athletic players in the league. And look, Darren Peterson's been impressive. Same with Cameron Boozer, Caleb Wilson. There's no reason to doubt why the Wizards picked this kid number 1 overall.
All right, let's transition from the rookies in Vegas to the veterans around the league. Over the weekend, the Spurs inked Victor Wembanyama to a 5-year, $252 million extension, the 3rd largest rookie extension in NBA history, behind only Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley. Now, Wemby opted not, operative word not, to take the Supermax, potentially saving San Antonio roughly $50 million over the span of the contract. However, the deal does include a player option in year 5. NBA PA Executive Director David Kelly spoke on the NBA salary cap in relation to Wemby, saying, quote, "We think the players should make decisions for themselves, and we should not be pocket watching. The system should not require a player to carry all of that burden. We should not put a player in the position to carry the burden of keeping a team together." So we've got Tim, we've got Vince with us, Dominique Foxworth, who was the president of the NFL Players Association. He's going to join us as well. Tim, Wemby not taking that Supermax, direct result of the second apron of the salary cap. Is that putting unfair pressure on NBA stars to take less money?
I mean, it's a fair interpretation. It's also Wemby putting his money where his mouth is, and that he wants to be the best player of all time. He wants to fulfill every ounce of his immense potential. That's going to require winning multiple championships. And so I think he deserves praise for prioritizing winning over maximizing his paycheck. He just watched Jalen Brunson do the same thing and celebrate a championship right on Wemby's home floor there in San Antonio. But I don't know that it's fair to players. Also, why should the Supermax portion of a salary count towards luxury tax in the second apron? Look, this is a bad deal for the Players Association, and I definitely understand why this is an issue that the union leadership wants to bring to the light.
Vince Goodwill, jump in here. Speaking of bringing things to light, $50 million less Wemby decides to take. Your thoughts?
I don't like it. I'm all for, like, these players, and we got to understand this, these players have a very short shelf life to be able to maximize their earnings potential. We never asked NBA owners or owners of any sport, hey, sacrifice some of your profits so that you can put a better product on the floor or on the field. It's only on the players to have this responsibility. I don't like it. It's clearly a trickle-down effect, not just from the second apron, but from the CBA that was signed in 1998-99 that instituted a max contract. All these things have been taken away from players, and I know it's hard to understand that when you see the numbers going up and up and up with a bigger pie, but it's the elements of the pie. It's the haves and the have-nots, and maybe the NBA's middle class has grown, but when you look at the max players, the fact that in every other sport, it's a free market. In the NBA, there is a max salary, which is a cap on what you can do, and when you have a second apron, you're putting this responsibility on the players to play coach and general manager. If that's the case, give me 2 salaries if I got to do 2 jobs.
Very well said. Dominique Foxworth, you were the the president of the NFL Players Association during your time in the league. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. A player taking $50 million less to help facilitate the team being able to win a championship.
Well, you probably won't be surprised that I don't think it's a good precedent to be set, and it's a bad expectation to have of the players. But I think they've already covered why it's kind of bad for the players. I don't think people appreciate that it's probably bad for the league and for the fans going forward. In basketball, you don't want the great dynasty split up as a result of some salary cap maneuvering. You want those teams to stay together. I want to watch Wemby and Castle and Harper grow into some legendary threesome that wins championships and is compared to other teams. Like, this is bad for us when the history of the league is going to be determined by which player is willing to give back more money, not which player is the best and has most impact on the game. So, like, that's the concerning part. In this situation, it's fine. Wemby's great. He's going to make a lot of money. Him giving up less is not going to harm anything. But if there's even better stars who are willing to take much less than that and build up a power, it reminds me a little bit, and it might be a little bit of an unfair situation, but that momentary salary cap bump that allowed Kevin Durant to go to the Warriors, and that kind of made those seasons very like a unique blip in NBA history that I think kind of messed things up. And I don't want to create any more situations like that going forward. So abolish salary cap in all sports all the time.
Tim, jump back in here. Do you think this is going to open the floodgates for more players to make decisions like Brunson and Wemby, or do you think ultimately this will kind of be an outlier situation like we've seen so far?
I'm curious to see if it sets a precedent in San Antonio. And look, he really is following in the footsteps of Tim Duncan. It's not like this is new to the second apron system, but Tim Duncan took hometown-friendly contracts. But does Stephon Castle take a similar approach in his negotiations for his extension next summer? Dylan Harper the summer after that? Now, great problem to have if the Spurs are in a situation where they might potentially have supermax eligible guys coming up for rookie extensions 3 straight years. But I would say just because Wemby did this, it's not fair to expect his teammates to do the same thing.
Pockets may be a bit lighter, but in terms of his Q rating amongst those in San Antonio, couldn't be more popular at the current moment. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Now, he may not be here in person, but he's here